if I can do it from nothing and got $100 million, and I can barely even speak English today, if I can do it, everyone in this room can do it also. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Let's start the show today, Steph.
Let's do it. And all of this really is about what is not only the destination, which is that freedom, option, and choice, but enjoying the journey.
Yes.
Because what good is this destination if we burn everything and everyone that we really care about out along the way? And so enjoying the journey is what it's about. This is what you speak to all the time, Thach, about the value of peace of mind.
Yes.
About being able to live a life that's aligned to your values and your priorities because you have the freedom to choose what it is that you're going to do.
And this is the biggest reason why I do what I do, folks. It's our legacy, okay? I do for the legacy. Today, this is our mission in Springboard. Stephanie and I's mission with this company we have is to help more people become happy, balanced millionaires. We don't care about the money because what's the point of having money if your kid don't love you? What's the point of having money if your kid don't want to hang out with you? What's the point of having money if you ain't got no health? What's the point of having money if you ain't spiritually and mentally stable? We want to help you become millionaires, but also what's more important is to have balance, have family relationship, have good friends relationship, right? Have peace of mind, have spiritual mindset. That's what I call balance. Who cares about the money? I know plenty of people who got money, their life is shitty. I hate to even say it. In my culture, the Asian people, it's all about making money, education, be smart, send their kid to Harvard. They come out and work, make money. And you know what's so sad? They don't even show up to their own kid's baseball game. I live on Mercer Island, which is one of the richest neighborhoods. Mercer Island is like living in Beacon Hill. That's where I live in Seattle. And people that play in Mercer Island, their kids play baseball, lacrosse. I'm at every practice and baseball for my kids and every tournament for my kids. And I see a lot of Asians that's in that community, and their mom and dad run companies. And you know what? They have their babysitter drop off their kids. Come on, man. What's the purpose of that? But listen, let's be honest, there's a lot of people like that. Not even just Asian people, American people, the same way. Because they're also busy trying to make their money, they forget what's the most important thing. Family, kids, balance, peace of mind, health. You know what I mean? We get our priority backwards. Well, we're going to share today, you guys. We're going to help you guys become happy millionaire and have balance, and we want to give back. This is Stephanie and I and our community. Last year, we donated $1 million cash. Not endowment money, but real cash, because we're basically right now building soccer field in low-income family area so kids can play soccer there, right? And brand new field, and we work with the Seattle Sounders, the soccer company, right, in the Seattle, and they're nonprofit, and we're part of the World Cup that's coming to Seattle, and we have a campaign called 26 by 26, and we want to build 26 brand new soccer field in low-income neighborhood for the kids can play, and right? And we're at number 21 right now. We're almost there. And this year, we're going to donate $1 more million again this year to finish it off the project.
And that becomes possible because of utilizing what we know.
That's right.
And putting it into action. You'll see later that the way that we do a lot of this contribution, our students come around, the members of our community love to contribute. That's one of the things that is a unifying value, as well as we take the stuff we know about how to add and force value to make money in real estate, and then take a portion of those profits and donate them.
That's right.
So it's how do we contribute more and work smarter and not just harder.
If we could help everyone in this room become millionaire, multi-millionaire, who wouldn't actually just give a little money that basically you have been blessed with and go make a difference to your own community? You see what I'm saying? But it all starts in this room. We all got to take responsibility, and we got to learn what we got to learn, take the action, make money, own real estate, spend time with your family, take a little bit of money you've been blessed with, and donate it and make a difference to your own cause. That's how it's a world. This is the balance thing, okay? That's what we're all about. You ain't never gonna see nobody on this stage who is my level talk about their stuff, because all they want to talk about is making money, making money. Forget about making money. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting your ass up and have balance. Okay? We want balance, happiness, and money. You got with me on that? Hell yeah, baby, let's get it.
And that's the thing is I think everybody here, even people that are out in the world, they may want that, but they don't know that they have the choice because they don't have the knowledge. They don't know what to do to make that happen. So that's a piece of the conversation that we want to dive in with you guys today. Oh, thank you. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. That we want to dive right in and get after this conversation so that you guys are getting the key tools you need to take away what you're going to go do to create the ripple effect and the impact that you're here to make. Is it clicking? Ah, yes. So Thach talked so much about the journey of miracles that has been in his life. I'm guessing so many of you resonated with that and the miracles that show up in your life. Sometimes the things that we don't even necessarily want are planting the seeds for a more fertile ground and a fertile crop of a life that we didn't even know we could have if we had done it only the way with our limited belief. But we've come to really encourage and inspire. We've declared this the year of miracles.
Yes.
We want 2024 to be the year where you start noticing the miracles that are commonplace, that are normal, that are every day in your life now. And when you begin to notice that, you open your mind to a place of abundance and solutions, and the things that you want will come to you that much more easily.
Yeah.
So we actually created this miracle journal. You're welcome to take a screen grab of this. And it's a thing you can be tracking the journaling, the miracles that happen in your life every day. This is something we've embedded into our community. We want to invite you to join us in that so that you can be starting to frame your life through the lens of how good you've already got it.
Yeah.
And from abundance, then go create more.
I want to share this with you on this, all right? I was in Japan at the end of December. My family, all 8 of us, you know what I mean? We had a great time. And then we left basically on January 1. When we left, we got on a plane, and the moment we landed in Seattle, I get a text from Stephanie, go, "Oh my God, are you still in Japan?" I was like, "Why? I just landed in Seattle literally 10 minutes ago." "Did you see what happened in Japan?" I was like, "No, what happened?" They had a big earthquake where we was at. And the city where the earthquake happened, it got flattened in December. The airplane that I flew out of, the airport, there's 2 airports. The main one is Narita. The secondary airport is called Harita. We flew out of Harita. The day we flew out, the other plane was coming in, and they collided on each other at the airport, and one plane blew up. And when I landed, I said, someone is looking out for me, and I'm not meant to go yet. So it's a miracle. Again, I was in Thailand 7, 8 years ago, and I was staying on Phuket. And we decided to leave one day early to go back to Vietnam. The day we left, when I landed in Vietnam, the tsunami wiped out Phuket. Remember that? A few years ago. And I was staying at the resort in Phuket. So it's a miracle. So I started writing down in January every little thing, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything is a miracle. And so Stephanie said, let's make an app for it. And we created this. And now when you do this, every time you guys have something that great happen, say miracle alert and type it down and journal it. And if something happened bad, I just got in a car accident, miracle alert. What did I learn from this? You write it down. What if you can see everything in your life, all 2024, as a miracle? What would happen to your life at the end of this year? Right? I will guarantee you, if you see everything as a miracle, you're going to attract more miracle in your life. And so what we're doing is I'm tracking everything that's happening in my life all this year, and I want to see how my life turn out by the end of this year, and I will bet you I'm going to have a lot of good miracles because I'm calling everything a blessing. Okay? Do the same, folks. Get that free app and play with it, okay?
And from that lens, you're just going to be able to walk this roadmap, the roadmap to wealth, with a different sort of lens. with more ease, more flow, more sense of solution and optimism. So we want to dive in, and really as we look at this roadmap to wealth, we've talked about the 6 phases of it, and we're going to, thank you, we're going to walk through and take a deeper dive into each one of these phases as we go. But really the thing that's so key is that this is a big picture. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And so being mindful and taking the time, the thing that the work ethic that it requires is one that you possess or you wouldn't be here. It's about now figuring out how to make your time, your effort, and your money work as hard for you as you did for it. Yeah. To find that 10x multiplier of that.
And someone asked me today, Thach, what are you going to share today, right? And so I just gave you how I went from Vietnam to $100 million. So now what I'm going to do with Stephanie is we're going to actually backtrack, and I'm going to show you in that map every step that I did, things that I learned, things that I'm putting into action all the way until I get to freedom. So I'm going to show you everything I did, physically, mentally, action, knowledge. I'm going to show you what I did step by step so you guys can see it. There's no gimmick to this. It's just knowing what you got to know and willing to put in the work. I already know in this room, you all ain't going to have no problem putting in the work. Y'all just need to get knowledge. I just got to point you in the right direction. Right? Once in a while, I'm going to have to do one of these, get you going. But if you do the work, I promise you, you get the result. Okay? The key is you got to do the work. There's no handout here. And y'all got here without no handout anyways. You know what I mean? So this is perfect alignment. Okay?
Absolutely. And once you know what each of those steps are, you can do it. In fact, anyone can do it.
Yes.
This is an example of Jacob. He's a 14-year-old kid who is already starting to build his portfolio of rental properties. He's already building wealth based upon what he knows and has learned about how to do that.
We're coaching him and his parents right now from Chicago.
Exactly right. So we're going to show a quick video of Jacob.
Look how smart this kid is.
Do I need to hit the button? I don't want to hit it and then mess it up. Okay. The thing that's beneficial, and really why we wanted to bring Jacob in and share his example, is because it's easy to tell ourselves, oh, I can't do it, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm too much this, I'm too much that. We can talk ourselves out of our actual worthiness and our actual capacity. And yet, there is no too young, there is no too old. I didn't buy...
How many rental property do you own today?
I have 4 rental properties.
What is the gross rent you think you make from all those every single month?
$25,000, and that's because I have 1 Airbnb, 2 midterm properties, and 1 long-term rental.
What do you think you net after everything is paid out?
Around $8,000.
$8,000? Damn! How much equity do you think you have in all 4 of those properties?
I have $350,000 in all 4 of those properties.
When did you buy your first rental property?
I bought my first rental property at 13 years old.
How much did you pay for that property?
I paid $100,000.
What was the rehab cost?
$50,000.
What's the ARV on it today?
$220,000.
Where did you get the money to put a down payment for the house?
I got it from the wholesale I did back in 2022.
Where did you get the money to have the takeout loan?
Private money.
Where did you find the private money?
From the group I'm in.
How much money did you make on your first real estate deal when you was at 12 years old?
I made $20,000 from a wholesale.
Where did you find that first wholesale deal?
On the MLS.
Where did you find the investor?
In a group I'm in it in Chicago.
How much passive income do you want to have ultimately in the...
5 years from now, I asked them. Right? So, you got to get it, right? Is that kid inspiring or what? See how smart he is? He just been taught well, okay? That's y'all, okay? No more excuses today.
Exactly right. And so with that in mind, we can't get where we want to go if we don't know where we are. If you were to put a destination into your GPS, but you weren't let it find your location, what good does that do? You might have a map to something, but if it doesn't know where you're starting, then it's going to be more difficult to find your path. So we want you to take a second and ask yourself, where are you? You'll see in your packet there's a spot there to kind of take a moment and ponder. We're going to give you, I want you to think about this quickly because probably your first instinct is the most accurate. But when you look at the phases of the roadmap to wealth, are you in knowledge phase? Or maybe do you know some stuff and you're ready to take some action, you just don't know what to do? Or maybe you got some knowledge, you're ready, you've taken some action, but you don't have enough money to do the things you want to do. Maybe you've got the knowledge, you've taken some action, you've accumulated some money, but now you're ready to start buying properties, accumulating them, but you're not sure what are the best properties to buy or how many to buy. Would you know when to stop? So then with the next piece of that is once you've gotten there, maybe you've accumulated some properties and you want to get to payoff phase, but you're not sure. Do I have enough properties or do I need some more? But if you have enough, and now you want some strategies to be able to start paying off the properties you have to increase the cash flow you have each month. Maybe you're all through these and you're now in a place where you have the freedom to work or not work. You're getting to be the owner of your time, and you get to choose how you spend your day and the things that you get to devote your time, money, and treasure to. So depending on where you are, take a moment and circle for yourself, where are you on the roadmap to wealth?
Go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to just quickly point out a few, ask for a couple volunteers, see where you guys are at. So where are you at in this journey, all right? Where do you think you're at? Circle where you think you're at on this journey right now. Okay?
Are you stretching or are you going to share?
Yeah. Yep, just, make a check on it.
Did you say, is it linear? Yes, it may be that, I will say it's linear, but let's call it that it circles back and then you go up a level. So you might do like a whole phase of knowledge, action, money. Then you might be like, oh, I need some more knowledge. You might circle back and hit knowledge again. It might spiral. It's kind of like it can spiral, all with the idea that the floor you're trying to, the penthouse rooftop deck you're shooting for, is to get to that payoff phase. Right? So you might accumulate and be like, oh, I need a couple more. You go back to accumulation. But it is in general linear. Yeah.
Yep. Who want to raise your hand? Where they're at?
Really good question.
Anybody? Yes, where are you at?
In the knowledge phase. Excellent.
Over here.
It's a great place to be.
Where you at, bro? Knowledge phase. I love it.
phase, yep.
How about this thing back here? Action?
Action.
I
Good.
love it. How about you, bro? Payoff.
Payoff.
I love it.
Good.
I love it. Over
Love
here.
that.
Anybody over here? Say it again.
Accumulation.
Accumulation. I like that. You got whomever. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm called ma'am. I'm the lights and flashing in my face.
Yeah. We're blind. The action?
The action. I love it.
Oh, knowledge and action
Knowledge and
together.
action.
Yep.
How about you, sir? Money.
Good.
All right. Somebody say money. Anybody else? Yes, back there. Money.
Good.
Knowledge and action. I love it.
Excellent.
Okay. Yes. Money.
Good.
Yes.
Good. And so wherever you are, then you're going to continue to listen for the tools that we're going to share with you today that can be part of what's going to help you take the next step. We all know that we're headed for the end game, which is freedom, option, and choice, the destination of that. Enjoy the journey along the way, though, of course. And so take a second. We want you to think about, what is your end game? What are you doing all of this for? What does having the passive income and having the ability to escape the rat race, what is that doing for you? What are you doing any and all of this for in the first place? What does wealth mean to you?
So look at the question above on the chart right there, folks. What does wealth mean to you, right? What do you want wealth to do for you? If you don't know, somebody asked me this outside, that, we want to own real estate, but, my challenge is we don't know what to do, and how do we get the money to do it? And I said the first thing you got to know is you got to know why you want to do it. You got to know why you want to own real estate. So for me, why I want to do real estate, because I wanted to retire my mom and dad. Because they worked all their life coming from Vietnam. And my first reason why I want to own real estate, so I can have some extra cash, so I can tell my mom, you don't have to work anymore. And that was a blessing when my mom didn't have to work anymore. My dad, he always wanted a Mercedes-Benz when he was growing up. He never had the money to buy it. So on his birthday, I bought him a Mercedes-Benz, and unfortunately, a year later, he died from cancer. But I got the opportunity to buy my dad a Mercedes-Benz. You see what I'm saying? That's what I wanted. Today, why I want to own rental, because I want to teach my kid how to actually do this, because when I die, they know how to run the company when I'm dead. Why do you want to own rental property? What's the reason for you? So write it down. And it had to be meaningful. It had to touch you. It had to move you.
So yes, take a second, use the space in your packet there to really connect to, take some notes around what would wealth mean to you? What do you want it to do for you, your family, your community?
Yeah, if you don't have a clear idea why, you're gonna start and you're gonna quit. You really gotta have a real clear idea what's the reason why. You know, we talked about this, bro, outside, right? We need to have a clear why on why we're doing it. What's the meaning behind it? If you want to retire one day from your 9 to 5, this is a great reason to buy own real estate. If you want to help your mom and dad retire so they can stop working because they've worked their butt off coming over here to this country, help them do that. That's a blessing. Okay? Learn this so you can teach your own kids. Okay. Okay, anybody want to just share what does wealth mean to them? This table over here in the front. What does wealth mean to you guys over here? Why are you doing it? What's the freedom for you? Right? Go ahead, sir. Would you say repeat yourself?
To be able to have more time to be more creative and grow more businesses as the world is moving very quickly, you want to be able to have the bandwidth to be ahead of trends, which what I hear in all of that is one of your most full expressions of yourself, is to be creative and to be innovative. And to have the time to do that would mean a lot to you.
I love it. How about this table?
For me, when I started writing my reasons, I started with selfish reasons, like freedom to do what I want when I want.
Yes.
Sorry, full.
There you go.
Repeat for the others too.
I was saying that when I started writing down my freedoms or what wealth means to me, I started off selfish by saying, freedom to do what I want when I want to do it, with who I want to do it with. But as you shared yours about your mom and your dad, I thought about maybe that's more important because I've always said I want to retire my mom. I want to be able to have money in case of a health situation.
Yes.
Because, the money you have affects the choices you can make
Of course.
with health. But yeah, I think for me, it's a combination of all those. Is
Yes.
the freedom to do what I want when I want to do it, and also to retire my mom and be able to be there in case of emergencies. But
Yes.
I want to ask you guys a question about, am I wrong to think that wealth is not thinking about money? Because in all the things that I've just said, I want to be able to not think about money. When I go to the store and pay for something, I don't want to think about
That's
money.
wealth, bro.
When I want to,
Look,
buy something, I
freedom,
don't want to think about money.
option, and choice. Get it? Ultimately, that's what wealth is. It's freedom, option, and choice. Right? Choose.
And if you want the freedom to not think about money, that's the same as somebody having the freedom to think about money. So it's a matter of honoring, caretaking, being a good steward of the power that money is. But it doesn't mean that we have to. You can then be with it however you want, whatever
Look,
freedom means to you.
I posted this on Instagram the other day. Nobody wants the money for the money. What they want the money for is for the experience. True or false? You don't want the money to have the money. You want the money so you can buy yourself a nice warm house so you and your family can have a great experience living together in this one roof. True or false? You don't want the money, right, to go, to buy a vacation. You want to actually have the money so you can actually buy a nice vacation so you and the family can enjoy it together. You see what I mean? Zig Ziglar said it best. You don't want the bed for a bed. You want a bed for a good night's sleep. Right? So we don't want the money for the money. It don't do no good sitting in the bank. You want the money so you can actually have experience with people that you love. That's freedom, option, and choice. You get what I'm saying? That's freedom. The money that we donated, we're going to help a lot of underprivileged kids play soccer on brand new soccer field that they don't have to reserve it. Because all the beautiful soccer field in all the nice neighborhood, they're locked up. That's freedom, option, and choice. Who else? Yes, sir.
Well, honestly, I got the peace, I've got the mindset, I got everything.
Yes.
I need the money,
Yes.
the wealth, so that I can inspire people, have time to inspire them, teach them, and share my grace of faith.
I love it, bro. Thank you. I
So
love
good.
it.
So let's dive. Thank you so much for sharing those key important things, and I hope you all are taking the moment to really connect to what your end game is and why it matters so much to you. Like Thach said, let it touch you, let it move you. It matters to be that connected to the reasons why you're doing the things you're doing and what you want this money and this
I want
wealth
to
to
say
do.
one last thing before we move on with that, because I think they're going to really appreciate this. Okay? This is freedom, option, and choice. And I harp on this so hard because if you don't have the emotional connection to why you want to do or the clarity, you won't do what it takes when things get hard. I get a phone call from my dad, and my dad said, come over to the house. I want to tell you something, but do not bring your wife, Cammie. I get to the house, I walk upstairs. My mom and dad sitting on the sofa at the end of the living room, and they had sad faces. And then I said, what's the problem? And then they said, they gave me this piece of paper. And I was like, they said, read it. And I read it. And it said, blah, 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 blah. And it says, cancer. My dad had liver cancer. And I told my dad, don't worry, Dad. You stay mentally positive. I got the money. I will take you wherever we got to do, whatever it costs, I got you. We took him everywhere. I spend money like crazy. I was paying $25,000 for a chemo bag because the insurance won't cover chemotherapists, right? Every time they gave him a chemo bag, 20 grand, 20 grand, 20 grand. 6 months later, he died in my hand. At least I knew I did everything I can, and I had the money to pay it on the spot. You see what I'm saying? That's why I own real estate today. Because anytime something happens, I have the money to do what I got to do ASAP. So the sooner you start, the sooner you can set yourself up early. So when anytime anybody in your family needs something, you got them. You understand what I mean? That's freedom, option, and choice. Get that clear on why. Because the journey to owning real estate ain't that flat and easy. It's going to be up and down. That's why we show you that. But if your reason why is strong enough, you will do what it takes to actually make it through, which like you did, how you got here to the United States. Everybody, including me. Everybody get it? Okay.
Good. So we know we got a lot of people here in the knowledge phase, so let's talk about some knowledge. There's all kinds of stuff that you could know, but we want to talk about a really crucial key nugget that's going to help you not only have the knowledge you need to feel more like you've got your arms around it, but it's going to help you make better decisions further along the roadmap to wealth. But the reason why knowledge matters, of course, Dr. Angelou tells us, you do the best you can with what you know. But when you know better, do better. But we sometimes can't do better until we know better. So the knowledge is step one for a reason. One of the first things you need to know is a piece of it, again, is going to help you further on down the roadmap, is to know how many doors do you need to be able to be in the state of freedom, option, and choice. Yeah. And it's a really simple formula. So let's take a second, and we're going to do this form. Everybody, it's in your packet. Look for the page that looks like this. We want you to know how many doors do you need.
And let me say this, okay? We always start with the end in mind, right? You said, I want this freedom. I want this for my family. This, right? We start with the end in mind, okay? Now you got your why. Now, with the other part of end in mind is we got to start with if you already was there, if already happened, right? How many doors do you want to have? How much passive income would that be so that if you already have it, then we work backward till the present year, then we can start working on accumulating those doors. So part of the end game is to figure out if life is perfect, how many doors do you need to have to get out of the rat race? And here's how you want to look at it. What does it cost you to live personally every month right now? Not business. What does it cost you to live personally? So let's say, how much does it cost you to live personally every month? Personally, right? That's the family, $30,000. So $30,000, what is the average rent in Boston? $4,000? $4,000. So 30,000 divided by 4 is about 8 houses. You get it? So if he had 8 houses bought and paid off, he would have $32,000. Now he can choose to work to keep adding more money coming through the front door, or he can just live off the passive income. Today, I choose to work and live off my passive income. Today, I get over $100,000 a month in passive income. And I still work because I like to work. So we want to start off with this door. We need the end game first. Think about how much it costs you to live. So think about that and ask yourself, how many doors do you need based on the average rent in your area so we can start accumulating that? Does that make sense? So let's work out the number now, right?
Yep. So do this quick equation. Think about how much, we're not asking you to say what is the optimal perfect amount you want each month. What would it take to live comfortably covering your existing bills that you have? That's it. This is just the first foundational piece. And then, we want you to get that number. And then if you know the average rent in the area where you would be buying properties, it's probably, if we looked at what we see around here, $3,000, $3,500, $4,000. Take that amount of money that you want each month and divide it by the amount of the rent in your area.
And then you know how many doors you need.
So what
Does
do
that
you?
make sense?
Exactly right. So what do you guys see? What are some of the numbers you guys are getting? What is the number of doors you need?
All right, let's go ahead. 5.
5?
And tell me how much passive income is that out of 5 doors? 18,000?
Yeah.
So you're about 3,000 a month in rent times 5, 18. Okay,
take.
beautiful. I love
Good.
it. Who else?
Excellent. Got 5 doors? What? Yes, ma'am. 5,000. Okay. And so how many doors?
That's 2 doors.
2.
There we go.
Exactly.
All right, over here, this table over here. Right? Anybody over here in this table want to give me an example? All right? 6,000 or 6 doors? 6 doors. And what's the average rent?
2,500.
2,500. Okay, so you look at almost 18 grand, basically. Okay, love it. Okay, anybody else?
What's your number?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For 2,800 a month.
Yeah. So let's say 3,000 times 6 door, 18 grand. Right? Now, when we do this exercise, do you notice now? You don't need 100 doors to actually really have a good life. If you had 5 doors in Boston paid off at 3,000 to 4,000, holy moly, that's a good life. True or false? So that's why when you go to a big seminar, they're like, oh yeah, I own about 2,000 doors on the stage, 15. You don't need 1,500 doors. If you have 5 doors in Boston bought and paid off, you are living good. If you choose to keep working, that's more bonus money. You see what I'm saying? This is why we want to put it in perspective. This is doable. If we get everybody in this room to own 1 to 5 doors to start off with, oh, Jesus, you have accomplished big things. Make sense? Yes.
That is the power of knowledge. The other thing is when you now know how many doors you need, now what doors to buy? How to find the best properties? We want to share with you what we call the ABCDs of real estate, meaning how to find the right properties in your area. So Thach, you want to talk about the different categories?
One second.
Once you
Stefan.
know...
Touch. 1 second.
Yep.
It's me here. Here.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I just want to share something for the last step which we just did. When I went to Seattle, I used to be, you know, as Africans, we have this thing, and everyone regularly, we are like, I want to have more. Can I have like 100, like the way Thach said, like 1,000 units, 10,000 units? And I was always like on a chase. But the way today they are sharing about having peace, it's really important. When I went to Seattle, it opened in my mind to have peace. Because I always used to say, how many units can I have? Can I have like 100 units? It's not about having 100 units. I realized I needed just 50 units, just paid off. And you can sleep at night.
Yeah.
You don't need 100 units and you can't sleep at night. You just need 10 units. You sleep better. You enjoy your family. You travel with them. You enjoy every moment you need in life.
Yes.
Because I used to be there and say, oh, if I can have 200, now I can do this. Let me tell you, the more unit you have, the better you need to become at management. The better, and as you're here at the knowledge stage, and then you take action and you buy one, now you need to do more. So if you have 10 units, you're not going to be seated at home. Tenants are going to call. Something has broken down. So if you want just 10, and that is your number, and you're paid off, and you can live a good life, enjoy that. You don't have to have 100. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. Think about it. If you average around $3,000 here, if you had $10, $30,000 a month. When you're sleeping. You understand the difference? We're talking about when you're sleeping. Okay? Most people ain't making no money when they're sleeping. If you have $5,000 a month, when you're sleeping, you're already doing well. Okay? All right? So, once you know how many doors, now the next thing you need to know is, where do we buy the doors? There is right area and there is wrong area. I just learned this from the Boston group. We have about 30 students that I mentor in Boston today. We hope by the time we finish, we can mentor all of you. So we have a big, giant Boston group that give us to come out here more often. We like to see 100 students in Boston that really just basically own Boston. We want to have Springboard own Boston. Every time somebody buy a house, they go, who just bought the house? It's some group called Springboard that bought it. Jesus Christ, they're just buying everything up in Boston. Yes, okay? That's the inspiration behind this thing, okay? And we're going to do the same thing with DNV, bro, in your area, okay? So, when you buy real estate, there's always 4 markets. A, B, C, D, okay? Now, the A market, what I realize is the high-end market. I realize the A market is Beacon Hill. You don't want to buy property in Beacon Hill because, you know, the door might cost you like $5 million, but you only can rent it for $10,000. So it's upside down in cash flow. Does that make sense? That's not a good area. You also don't want to buy the property in what I call the D neighborhood. And what I realize the D neighborhood right now is somewhere around Roxbury. Okay? I'm not saying Roxbury is bad, but this is what my students are saying, okay? Roxbury is a little bit on the rough side, right? But it's not a bad, it's just rough. Now, let me say this. You can buy and flip houses in all area. The reason why you don't want to buy A because the price too high and the rent's not high enough. Now, you might buy in the D neighborhood, the price might be a little bit better, but the rent is also very low, and the appreciation is not as good either. You want to buy the B's in the C neighborhood. Does that make sense? And what I realized the B and the C neighborhood, if you're around this Boston area, they say, is right around like, geez, I forgot.
Is it Southeast Boston?
Yeah, Southeast
South
Boston.
Boston? South
Right?
Boston?
Where would you guys say like the B and the C area is in Boston right now? Where would you say around this area? You're from Dallas, okay? Someone from Boston, help me out. Well, hold up. Yep, I would agree. Anybody else? Okay, Lexington, right? These are the area. The reason why, because you can get a relatively decent price and the rent's decent. You don't want to buy in the A because the price is like this, like the Beacon Hill, you can't get enough rent. And it works the same way in Dallas. Does that make sense? So what I realize owning real estate now, if you want to own rental, you want to get in the B's and the C neighborhood. Everybody get it? So you got to study your market. The great thing is my Springboard student here in the Boston area, they already identify all the B's and the C's in this area. Okay, when Jenny comes later on after lunch, she's going to share with you where she bought, so you guys can really see where she bought. You're going to go, wow, that is true. Because she bought it 40 minutes away from here, and she bought a 3-unit for $560,000. What? Damn! Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Here my entire life. You're giving such good information. I just want to make sure everybody gets the right information.
Thank you.
So when it comes to, thank you. So when it comes to D areas,
Yes.
D areas right now are like outside of Boston
Okay.
and Lowell.
Good.
Think of areas like Brockton. Those are D areas.
That's right. She did mention
where
one of
the
those cities
prices
too.
are
Yep.
lower, the crime is high, and they haven't been renovated.
Good.
Areas like Roxbury, you are right that they are up and coming.
Yes,
They're
it
being
is.
gentrified.
Yes, it
so
is.
South Boston to Roxbury is 2 miles away. It's not far.
Yes.
So the gentrification is happening, but it's
Yes.
happening slowly.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure people get the right information.
Thank you for that.
Roxbury is not a D area. Roxbury is actually a C, about to be a B.
There you
if
go.
you hop on the wave today.
There you go. I love it.
Sometimes you have to see the growth trends that are happening.
Yes.
Pay attention to what the
Yes.
city is developing over time. Because if you think about Dorchester today and Dorchester 5 years from now, completely different.
Yes.
Dorchester 5 years from now, they're talking about building Dorchester City. High-end units that are going to be
Yes.
right next to South Boston,
That's
right next to UMass Boston, where what is now the South End, what you're talking about,
Right.
South Boston, it will soon be what Roxbury is.
Yes.
So
Okay,
understand the
that's
difference.
these are great information.
When
You gotta
pay
get this?
attention
Right
to
there is
Right.
an example of somebody who knows their
She
market.
know there. Now,
really,
see,
really
if
good.
I was, if
That
I
is the
was
difference.
teaching her how to buy rental, I would say to her, great, since you know the area, I will make sure that she stays in certain areas so she can capitalize. When I started real estate, I own a lot of property in the D. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. The only challenge is it took a while for it to appreciate. Does that make sense? And I had a lot of tenants that basically, you know, just like a lot of the refugees live in the D, they just wasn't maintaining the property like I would love to. So the property time return, I need a lot of work because there's a lot of family in there. So when I learned this, instead of buying D, I buy C to keep the money down, and I work the C into the Bs. Does that make sense? Now, I live in the A. I know like the A don't make no sense. So if you're gonna buy in Boston, you wanna find the C's and the B. Ideally, what you wanna do is buy in the C so you can save a little money because it's an upcoming to the B where you get better growth. Does that make sense? Do you see the logic behind investing now? Most people buy real estate, they just buy to buy. But if I was here in Boston, I would be hooking up with her. I would really just brainstorm, show me where the things are at, things are moving, so I can actually go there and park my money there. So thank you for that knowledge. I
That's
appreciate
great
you.
knowledge. That's a great example of some deep knowledge. The other piece to think about where to buy is a lot of times people will be in an expensive area like Boston and be like, I can't find a property here that's going to cash flow. I can't find something that's going to work. I better go to somewhere else, another cheaper market. You can find great deals where you are if you know how to do it and what to look for.
That's right.
And so we recommend that you stay within 30 to 45 minutes of where you live, especially when it comes to managing properties or if you're going to be rehabbing properties. Doing that from a greater distance is a harder headache, and it's much more difficult to be able to keep real tabs on what's going on in your property.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Well, I just realized in Boston's like down the street. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's normal, 45 minutes. Okay, right? So when Jenny bought her property, I'm thinking 45 minutes, that's down the street. That's okay, right? But again, if this was a Boston meetup group, I will make sure, tell me your name. I will be milking Melissa for all her knowledge of the Boston market. So I was like, girl, educate me to know where the C's are at. So let me go park my money over there. Because you need someone like that to understand the market. Then I go there, and you know what I buy? I buy a home that needs some work in that neighborhood, and I rehab it to make it look nice so that it'd be worth as much as a good house, but I pay little for it because it need work. And that's how I come up. And that's how you get cash flow. So stop saying, everybody, if anybody in this room is saying, Boston is too expensive because you're looking in the wrong neighborhood. You get it? Because every time people say, oh, Boston is expensive, because they just looking at Boston as a general. Right?
There's always opportunity within every market.
Yes.
And if you know what to look for and are willing to be just a little bit outside of maybe where you're looking. But it's there. As Thach was saying, find those older homes, the ones that have the ability to add or force some value by doing some work on them, and to avoid things that might seem sexy but are actually going to complicate your life. Things like projects, development projects, where there's maybe open land to build a ton of brand new construction. That is a massive undertaking. Large multifamily has all sorts of ups and downs and pitfalls. Not to say never do it, but especially if you're starting, take the simplest path. The simplest path is single family.
Single family right now in Boston, I'm going to tell you right now, after COVID, everybody want to live in single family. If you can find an older home that needs some work in the C's and the B neighborhood, and you remodel and you create sweat equity, you're winning all day long in the cash flow. We're not even talking about the magic bonus in a second as soon as Stephanie changed the slides.
Exactly. This is the thing when you're looking for properties, look for things that have unfinished attics, unfinished basements. That's ways you can add some square footage within the existing envelope of the house without having to do more expensive types of rehabs and remodels.
I love buying homes. Now, Boston, I realize you got to have basements like us in Seattle, right? Good. You know what I like to buy? I like to buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with an unfinished basement, and the house is ugly. So I walk into an owner, I go, sir, I'm buying a 2-bedroom, 1-bath that's ugly. You're right. So when I buy it, I rehab the house, and then in the basement, guess what I'm doing in the basement? I give another unit downstairs, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So now, when I'm done with this beautiful home, I have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house that I created value. So when they comp it, they comp a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but I only bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath ugly house. in a B and C neighborhood. That's how you come up, folks, in real estate. The problem most people do real estate, they don't teach you this stuff. They just tell you to go buy real estate. There's a strategy behind this whole game. If I was in Boston, this is what I'd be doing. Buying home with basement that's unfinished in the B's and the C, and I go in, I buy them, I rehab them, and I keep them all and rent them out. And you ain't got no problem because you know what? The density in Boston is so tight, everybody needs a place to stay. If you own the inventory, you ain't gonna have no problem renting it. Okay?
Especially a nice place that you've just put a nice little reno to. The other thing to look at when you're looking for properties, you found your BC neighborhoods. In addition to looking for those places that are the things Satch described, look for ones where maybe you see a garage in the back, on an alley, on a corner. These are the types of things that have a ton of hidden treasure in them that you can turn into even more units and more cash flow in the future, especially as Boston becomes to do what so many cities across the country that we see that they're going to be doing more around ADUs and DADUs.
Who here know it? Who here heard of the terminology ADU in ADU? Nobody? Oh my God. This is the bonus money. Melissa, you know about that game, girl? Okay. She's on top of this game. All right. ADU stands for Auxiliary Dwelling Unit. Every big city that is dense, they are having a big issue right now with affordable housing. The government, city council, state, all pushing down going, how do we create more housing? There's no more land. How do we create more housing? We need more rental. We need more housing. We need to create more affordable housing. And so guess what the city is doing all across the United States? Seattle's leading it right now. They let you on a single-family house, single-family zoning. If you had a backyard, they let you build a small cottage house in the back, up to 1,000 square feet. In Seattle, we can build a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot in the backyard. And Stephanie, when we were driving here, she did the research on this. Stephanie, tell them what the research is, because this is a game changer.
It's the best news we ever hear, which is what Boston is doing right now is saying that you can have that ADU, but you have to live in the front house. And I'll tell you why I was so happy when I read that, is because that is the first step that every city goes to when they are eager and hungry to put this type of strategy into play for their city, because right on the heels of that is they're gonna be like, you don't have to live there.
That's right.
So it is a step one, but most people are not gonna know that. But you guys do. You know, you can be out ahead of the trend and out ahead of that curve because we can tell you what's coming because we see it happening across the country. This is how it always goes.
Melissa, check this out. In Seattle, 3 years ago, they said, you can build an ADU in the backyard, but you gotta live in the front house. We like, okay, whatever, right? We bought the house, we put my mom's name on it. Bought the next house, put my aunt's hands now on it. You know what I mean? Right? Mom, you stay in there today, all right? We work around the system, you know what I mean? And then a year later, not even a year later, the city said, okay, you know what, this is not working. You can rent the house in the front and you can rent the ADU in the back. We don't care anymore. We're like, okay, thank you for listening, right? Not even a year after that, the city says, you can have 2 separate tax ID number and you can sell it separately anytime you want to now. Game changer.
That's now
Just
happening.
literally passed out when I heard that. Okay? That means if I build an ADU in the back, it has its own tax ID, its own address, I can sell it as a regular house, and they comp it like a regular house. Do you understand the game changer? Look, Seattle, Washington, it's already, we're doing it. California, the whole state of California just got approved in December last year for the whole state of California to have separate tax ID number. Tampa got ADU now. Orlando got ADU now.
Dallas and Houston and
Atlanta.
Austin.
Atlanta has it now.
Atlanta has it?
Right? Denver has it now. Arizona has it. Las Vegas has it now. Every dense city, they are all working together going, we need to create more housing. So if you know that, Melissa, you're like, that just taught me that. I'm going to go find me a B and C neighborhood that's a 2-bedroom with a basement that's unfinished and a backyard.
On an alley or a corner.
Damn. Okay? You see what I'm saying? That's where big money. In Seattle, when you have separate tax ID number, it costs us $350,000 to build a 1,000 square foot ADU, but we can sell it for $700,000. And I guarantee you, Boston's the same thing, because you guys' price point's high. So if you could build a $350,000 square feet house, $350,000 for 1,000 square feet, if it can be sold separately, do you see the sweat equity you just built in one deal? Come on. Buy one house, get another house, you didn't even pay for the backyard. It's free. You buy one house, get a second house. You buy 5 property, you get 5 more, you got 10 houses. Damn, now you're all rich now. You see what I mean? Nobody's talking about this right now. This is the real money that's happening in your city right now. And you guys are on the front line of it. Melissa, you need to find out everything about ADU in your town. When you do that, make sure we exchange numbers today, okay? Okay, yes, me and
That
you.
is the power of knowledge
Okay.
right there. When you have knowledge and foreknowledge, you have a crystal ball of what's coming because it is happening across the country.
Yes.
And the foreshadowing of what's coming is already the seeds are planted right now. This is coming to Boston. It will happen.
It's already here.
It's already here.
It's already here.
And you can be ready for it, looking out and be ahead of the curve on it. You can be buying so much smarter when other investors are going to have no idea. You're going to be running circles around all of them.
Yes. I'd be buying right now. If I have money and I can find me a 2-bedroom, one bath, unfinished basement with a backyard on a corner lot or with an alley, for example, I just pick it up and just remodel it, just leave the backyard for later. Bam. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing hundreds of them. I just got 13 permits for ADU for 13 individual property in Seattle just last month. Next time we do an event in Seattle, all you guys got to come to Seattle, so you got to come tour my property. Sounds good? Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes!
Love it. So I want to check
Hold on,
in.
Steph.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm glad you mentioned permits, all
Yes.
right? Massachusetts, we call it Taxachusetts.
So is Seattle, bro.
No, but seriously,
Yeah.
like the whole thing about converting the basement and the attics,
Yeah.
if you do not get a work permit, the blueprint, the proper paperwork, you can do all that work. They will come in and say, no, tear it all away, put it back the way it was.
Yeah.
You didn't get the permit.
Okay,
So
there
make
you
sure
go.
you guys get the proper work permit. Make sure your contractors are licensed and bonded and
Yeah.
insured.
Yes.
So there are a lot of things that can knock you right out.
Yes.
So make sure you get all that paperwork done, because if you don't, you can lose all your investment and there's nothing you can do about it, and the government don't care.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the knowledge of that.
Remember about permits.
You all see what I'm saying? We ain't even started. We don't been an hour and a half. We just throwing knowledge over here everywhere. This is what I love about it. You need knowledge to actually be successful in the game. Does it make sense so far? All right, keep it going.
Let's do it. So I think we want to get to lunch in about 15 minutes. Is that right, Lois? 15 minutes, perfect. So I want to jump ahead to a certain section of
Oh,
the
this is
action
good.
phase because I think it's going to tie in really well with what we're talking about right now. Then we'll circle back to catch the beginning part of the action stuff after lunch. But this is when you were talking about buying right. That is only the first level of the benefit that those properties can have for you. This is one of the things that Thach gets the most excited about.
I get excited on this.
It's the idea of compound appreciation.
So, folks, if you haven't noted, right, I'm a little, not excited yet. But I'm about to get excited on this one right here. This is the reason why I do real estate, is these slides right now. If y'all didn't hear anything I said this morning, this is the slide you want to really listen to. This is why real estate is powerful. So I'm going to give you 2 stories of 2 real people. One is called Business Owner Bob. There's a real name behind that, but for now, it's Owner Business Bob. And then we have Average Joe, okay? I'm going to show you when you don't invest in real estate, and the people who does, they run circles around them in years. So let me just put a little thing in a couple of perspective. Business Bob, Business Owner Bob, he make $1.5 million a year in income, plus he get $100,000 in increase every year. Make sense? This is a real person, all right? He saved 25% of his earning in the bank for 10 years, okay? That's Average Joe. He don't invest in real estate.
Business Bob.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Business Owner Bob. This is Bob.
He's
All right,
using a different strategy.
right? Here's Average Joe. Average Joe, he works as a 9-to-5. He's a W-2, okay? He makes about $400,000 a year. He has a 3% increase every year, and he adds to a rental. He buy 1 property every other year. He buying basically 2 property every other year. I'm sorry.
He's buying 5 properties in 10 years.
He buy 5 property in 10 years. Every other year he buy a property. See, Half of the time I can't even speak English. I need somebody to translate it for me. Okay? Everybody get it? This is a real story, okay? All right. So watch what happened. All right, Steph. So, let's just skip this one. All right? All right, so listen. This is Business Bob. I'm going to show you what Business Bob in 10 years look like, okay? Year one, he grossed $1.5 million. He put away, he get taxed $750,000 because he's a high earner. Make sense? He saved 25%, which is $187,000. Make sense? Year two, he made $1.6 million. He get a $100,000 increase. He paid half of the tax, $200,000. So if you go all the way down to 10 years later, he grossed $22 million, Business Bob. Half of that going to Uncle Sam. Damn! And then he have $2,750,000 saved after 10 years. Does that make sense? Because Uncle Sam taxed you because you're a high earner. This is a real person. Everybody get it? Okay, watch Average Joe. This is Average Joe, okay? Average Joe, in 10 years, he buy a turnkey property, meaning you don't even have to fix it up. Just buy and just park your money there, all right? He owned 10 property he owned 5 property in 10 years, right? I'm just giving you 3 different examples. One is a turnkey. One is a fixer that he rehab and get 20% in margin. And then the other one is he fixes it up, he get 30% in margin, right? Meaning he creates sweat equity. Now, appreciation. Seattle, we get about 5 to 7% appreciation a year. If you have a 7% appreciation, I mean the house double every 10 years. Does that make sense? 5% is even better. Make sense? So I'm going to show you. This person right here, his name is In Love. He worked for Amazon. He make $400,000, but he just buy 1 property every other year, and he owned 5 property. If he just stopped buying, in 10 years, his net worth, in 10 years, if he bought turnkey only, just something that don't have to do anything, $1.6 million, or 7 year, $2.1 million. Just turnkey. But if he actually bought rehab houses, like I talk about, rehab a basement, and you create 30%, just in 5 property, $7.1 million. And this is the average price of $700,000, which is similar to Boston. Make sense? 5 houses in 10 years, average price $700,000. In 10 years, from appreciation, compound appreciation, do nothing, let it ride. In 10 years, it's anywhere between $2.1 million to $7 million in net worth. This is only 5. Watch what happened in 20 years. 8.1 million, $16 million in net worth. Watch what happened in 30 years. 18 million to 37 million off of 5 property on an average price of $700,000. Do you see why it's a miracle you live in Boston? Oh, it's so expensive. Love it. You don't want to buy a home in somewhere in the South for like $40,000 because compound appreciation will take you forever to get to $1 million. Make sense? You want the high appreciation. You want the high price point. You want the high appreciation. Why? Because when it double, 700 double to 1.4. 1.4 double to 2.8. You want that. You can live off this net worth. You can sell 1 property and live for the rest of your life, and you still have 4 more to go.
And these are cash flowing, by the way. And in addition to this appreciation, they're also producing monthly revenue,
Yes.
monthly cash flow.
And you get to have write-off when you own real estate. I was supposed to pay $750,000 this year to Uncle Sam, my brother. I pay 0. Damn! Because I get to have all the write-off from owning real estate. So on top of making all this compound money and the cash every month, I'm paying Uncle Sam nothing. When Business Bob work his butt off all day and pay Uncle Sam half of his money and own no real estate, no compound appreciation, no cash flow. Someone's working hard but not smart. Now watch this. Bob, in 10 years, he have $2.7 million. In 20 years, it go down to $1.6 million. In 30 years, it go down to $550,000. Why? Because we assume he spent 4% of his saving of his retirement to eat, to live, to do something. So if he don't invest, his 2.7 million is slowly go down because he got to use some of that money to live. So really in 30 years, he's going backwards. This is America. This is minorities because they don't know. Now look at this, all right? Dante from Austin. Just moved to Austin a year ago, and he joined us. Check out what he had to say.
How many properties do you own today?
I own 3 rental properties.
Where are your property located right now?
One is in Ohio, and 2 of them are in Austin, Texas.
When did you actually buy the first property?
4 months ago.
When did you actually join Springboard Coaching?
5 months ago now.
Let's talk about the first property. Where did you buy it? How much did you pay for it?
$126. Bought it in Ohio. It was a turnkey property. They fixed it up. They put a tenant in there, and it was easy. I just put 25% down, and already cash flowing around $200 a month now.
Why did you choose to go turnkey versus BRRRR on the first property?
As a business owner, I'm running my own company, and I was really busy, so turnkey property was the easiest way to kind of put some money down and learn the buying process of a house and have something cash flowing automatically from day one.
Let's talk about property number 2. How much did you pay for that property? What's the rehab cost? What's the ERV in that?
So property number 2, I bought it for $160. I put around $40K in rehabs, and now it's worth $240 in ARV.
How much equity is that at the end of the day?
$74,000.
$74,000, damn. Let's talk about
That's the difference of a business owner who puts their money to work differently, smarter rather than harder.
He now been with us now for 5 months. He grew up in East LA, moved to Austin. His company, he does recruiting. He makes $3 million a year. Damn, right? And he came to us because he said, I need to stop paying so much tax to Uncle Sam. Help me buy some rental. In the last 4 months, he bought 3 houses, and you add all 3 of them, he has over $250,000 in equity already. And he just started. So he realized he needed to offset by more rental so he could stop paying Uncle Sam half of his money. Think about it. You making $3 million, you pay Uncle Sam $1.5 million. Okay? But that's everybody doing that every day. But this is an example, folks, okay? Sarah, you want to read this?
Yeah, and it's a good example of whether you are a W-2 person, whether you are a high-earning business owner or other sort of high-earning professional. It's what you do with the money that matters.
That's right.
And so it's how you're making the smartest decisions you can with the money you have and making it work 10 times harder for you. As hard as you worked for it, you deserve for the money to work hard for you too. And this is the thing that's so beneficial to understand and why it can sometimes feel like a lonely journey and why it's so beneficial to be part of the community that you guys are, is because very few people actually even own rentals in the U.S. Yeah. Less than 7% of people own rental properties.
7%, folks. Isn't that crazy? They just work for Uncle Sam. It's like a rat race. They get up in the morning, they run, and they go home, go to sleep, and then do that for the rest of their life. And then people like us is like, man, I'm happy to help you guys. Come on. We know where the B's in the C neighborhood in Boston. Let's go. See what I mean?
And that's in average in the U.S., the average net worth at retirement is about $266,000.
166. All I got to do is help Melissa buy one property in Boston with an unfinished basement and a backyard. Now, one property in 10 years from now, she'll have millions with an S on it. Just one.
And what can you do with that kind of generational wealth?
Jesus.
What can you do to then set your children's children? You will be the favorite ancestor of all time because you're the one who turned the corner and made it happen. It's my belief that the best thing we can do is leave the generations coming behind us the funds and the wealth to be able to have the choices they want. And I also believe write them a really good book about how to live a good life alongside that money.
Yes. Go ahead, bro.
It's not just one, it's both.
Yeah. Right. This is even better. You know why? Because you got the recipe. If you have the recipe, you can teach any of your grandkids and kids how to work the recipe. It's like a real recipe. You see what I'm saying? I love it when I go to one of the, OG restaurant where they're like, this fried rice was cooked by my aunt. You know what I mean? Like, my aunt was like 100 years ago. This is their same recipe. Damn, okay. Right? This is the same thing y'all can do for your family. This is the recipe that Thach and Stephanie gave us, and we still using it 30 years later. Come on, baby, let's go.
Exactly. So as you guys begin to understand the idea of what the difference knowledge makes Knowledge is power. Knowledge gives you freedom, option, and choice to make better decisions now that set you up for ultimate freedom, option, and choice, which is the ability to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, devoting your time, your treasure, your talent to those people and purposes and the passions that mean the most to you.
Has this been helpful this morning for y'all with knowledge? Okay? Just Melissa throwing games on, just like,
right.
let me tell you about the ABC neighborhood in Boston. Let me get this info for y'all, all right? Just knowing that, you guys, is a game changer. You understand what I mean? Just knowing that. You understand how long it takes? How long have you been understanding this Boston thing for you to understand that? Because, oh, use the mic, please. You understand, you guys, when I tell people study your market, this is studying your market.
Well, I started looking at real estate back in 2017. I was running my own recruiting company.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to buy something. I wanted to go to a cheaper market, so I looked in Rhode Island.
Yep.
But Rhode Island does not have property appreciation the same way that Boston does. You can buy
Yes.
it there and it's cheaper, but it doesn't grow the same way.
Yes.
In fact, by street, it's different in,
Yes.
in Rhode Island. And in Rhode Island, when they talk about real estate projects, they say it's an idea. It's a proposal. But in Boston, when an idea comes up, they're actually doing it. They're just
Okay.
letting you know
Okay,
that they're
okay,
about to go and do
okay.
what they want to do. So you have to really pay attention to the word choice and how they describe real estate projects. So then I said, okay, Rhode Island doesn't quite make sense for me. I want my money to grow.
Yes.
So then I came back. I said, okay, well, I like Boston, but Boston, the city of Boston, I cannot afford right now. So let me start in Bridgewater.
Yes.
Next to Bridgewater State University. Because the school is there.
Yes.
Then you can make sure that there's always people coming to this particular area, even though it's 45 minutes outside of the city.
Yes.
And then that was 2019. I bought that property at about $425,000.
What is it worth today?
$650,000.
Damn! Okay.
And then I did Section 8 families only.
Yes.
Why? And I made sure it was fully rented when I bought it as well.
Nice.
So I had immediate cash flow as soon as I bought it. That
Yep.
was something that was important to me because I wanted it to be turnkey and netting a profit
Yes.
immediately.
Yes.
So that worked out fine. I'll tell you more about that later. And then in 2023, opportunistically, my friend was selling her Roxbury property because she was moving to California. She had a 3-family in Roxbury. And if you remember, in 2023, the interest rates dropped really,
Yes.
really low.
That's right.
And I said, well, if you're willing to sell your property to me, I would love to buy it.
Okay.
And she said, who else would be a better person to sell my property to? So it was a 3-family in Roxbury. That was the hardest buy I've ever had in my life because at that time, the COVID rents were low, but the property value was high. So I had to convince the bank
Yes.
that this is a good deal. It just needed time.
Yes.
So I had to go through that process. Thankfully, I was able to secure that property. I wanted it so badly because it had an extra lot. It was 33 and 35.
How much you pay for that property?
It was 970.
What is it worth today?
Oh, over 1.1.
1.1. Damn. Okay.
But to your point, now Mayor Wu was talking about the housing crisis.
Yes.
So they do have additional dwelling units, is what they refer to it as here in Boston, where they give homeowners $50,000 interest-free to go and do home improvements on your house so that you can start doing and building more.
Yes.
Now they're also asking for all vacant lots to be built as well
Yes.
because there's no space.
See?
So now those vacant lots are going to turn into multifamilies as well.
That's right.
So that's when I started my real estate journey back in 2019. But you always have to pay attention to what is the mayor talking about when it comes to housing. What are they saying they're going to build? Because where they're going is where you should be going to.
That's right. So everything I've been saying on stage, Melissa, does it make sense?
100%.
Folks, you know why I know this? Because I'm doing it in real time just like you guys. Not something like 30 years ago. Now I'm trying to, basically tell you something. I'm doing it in real time, and I'm noticing, and by mentoring a lot of students all across America, this is the same thing what they say. When we go into town, this is the same thing, and it's happening. It's happening. This is the power of knowledge, knowing your market, okay? And this is the opportunity right now. Let me tell you something. We're going to take a break right now. Real estate, it has a 10-year cycle. Every 10 year it goes up, and it corrects 2 years. The corrections right now, 2024 is the new beginning of the next 10-year cycle. Okay? If you buy real estate now, You have more fearful buyer on the sideline still because they're waiting for interest rates to drop because they're uneducated. So if you buy now, you can find opportunity. You don't have to compete against a million other buyers. So if you buy now, you might pay a little more interest rate. But from all my resources, they say inflation is slowly coming down. After the election, it's going to go down more. 25 interest rate, they say, going to be in the high 4, low 5. So if you buy now, and you can make the cash, or break even the cash flow, in 2025, you can refi it and make it even better. And then you get the beginning of the 10-year cycle now, so you can ride the appreciation, the compound appreciation in the next 10 years. So you buy something for $700,000, let's say, for example, by the end of the cycle, you already have double your money. Where can you find $700,000 in net worth, extra net worth, from just doing nothing in 10 years? That's real money you have in your bank account. That's why buying now is crucial. But you gotta know what the number of door, the right type of property, the right market location, what product to buy so you can capitalize on this 10-year cycle now. Because buying now, you automatically gonna get, if history repeats itself, which it is, you're gonna double your net worth in 10 years. Folks, the time is now.